Hey guys, it's Robbie here, and this is FrekiFitWolf. So today I'm going to be doing 6 exercise modifications for beginners. That way, those things that we see we want to do that we're like, at my size, I can't do that, or I have bad knees, I can't do that, or I'm just too out of shape, I can't do that. Well, with these modifications, eventually we can. All right, so with exercising, the important thing to remember is form above all else. If you're not doing proper form, 1, you're not focusing on the muscles that you're supposed to be focusing on, and 2, you can injure yourself. So before trying to do something that you can't physically do the proper way, but you're just gonna do it because you wanna do that push-up, you wanna do that exercise, but if you're doing it wrong, you can hurt yourself. So before doing that, I'm focusing on modifications that we can do so that we can keep proper form and work our way up to that. And all of these are going to focus on the core as well, because it's something that you have to focus on to keep the proper form and proper shape. When I do say form, in case you don't know, what I mean is the shape that your body's in, where your shoulders are, where your stomach is, where your back is, where your legs, thighs, everything, where everything is, that's the form of the exercise. And so with these, you can work your way up to do the full form properly. And ignore back there, I have chairs on the couch because we just washed everything off of the love stack and trying to get her not to get up there all the time and get it all covered in hair. Hence why she's now walking around, because she doesn't know what to do. Anyway, so today I'm doing basics. So I broke it up into warm up, upper body, and lower body. I'm just doing 2 of each. I don't want to overwhelm. I don't want to make a 2-hour long video because you guys know sometimes I plan something and it gets way out of hand. So we're going to be focusing on, for the warm up, jumping jacks and high knees. The upper body, push-ups and tricep dips. And then the lower body, squats and lunges. All right, so first of all, jumping jacks. And you're asking, why am I sitting if I'm going to be doing jumping jacks? One great way to start, and especially for a lot of exercises, it can be hard to get up and do them. And jumping jacks are at full form, high intensity. So instead, like one way to start off to just get your body moving, the main purpose of them is to loosen up the muscles, loosen up the joints, and get your blood flowing and your heart pumping a little bit. So you can still do that if you can't do a full jumping jack. You can do it sitting down. So all you do is, while sitting, you want to make sure that your legs are straight, well, bent, but straight down, not like this, not like this, anything like that. You're just sitting straight. And you want to focus on keeping your stomach pulled in, your abs tight. You want to roll your shoulders back and down. You don't want to be slouching, you don't want to be whatevering, turtling. I learned that's what this is called. You want to be sitting up straight and back. And for the jumping jacks, you just simply raise your head, arms over your head, but as you're doing it, you kick one leg out. One leg out. One leg out. Just like that. And you can keep doing it that way and then just increase your speed. So that way you start kicking and breathing heavier and the blood's flowing. You're getting everything going to your joints, all the blood going where it needs to go and everything loosened up. And again, the whole time you're focusing on keeping proper form. That is so important. So as you're just doing this, if you get kind of lazy, all of a sudden you can find yourself just kind of whatevering, and like that posture, I'm leaning back now, my shoulders are going weird, that can lead to issues. So making sure that you're keeping proper form and just keep going like that. Progressing that while still sitting, you would just simply, I can't do it, but you would simply go like that and kick out with both legs. I'm not at the point that I can do that, so I'm not going to do that, but at least one leg and work on that. All right, so the next step for jumping jacks. Okay, so for the next part of jumping jacks, where you're actually standing, is you can do them the very low impact way. And to start off doing those, you can just simply, let me see if I can see my legs a little bit. I need a white background. So you stand and you're keeping your feet straight down. They're not out, they're not whatever, they're just at hip width apart, just straight down. And then you just, give myself some room, and then you just step out and raise up. Step out and raise up. Step out, down. And so this whole time, again, focusing on your shoulders, keeping your abs tight, so when you go out, all of that is staying the same. And so to start off, you just do that. You step out, come back, and then out and back. And you can start off slow like that. And then as you get more comfortable, you start going faster with it. It's just the whole time you have to focus on your form. Going hardcore fast doesn't matter if everything's getting out of line. You can throw out your back hardcore doing that. To progress that a little bit further is you do just go faster, and instead of out and pause, you do just keep going without pausing and go that route. All right, so the next one is actually getting into the jumping jacks, but maybe you're not ready for the high intense speed. So you can simply, again, start, shoulders back, abs tight, legs straight down, and just jump. You don't have to go super fast. You don't have to be doing this the whole time. You can just jump. That's still getting the proper movement in without causing you to start to get out of breath like I already am. All right, so the next one that I see in a lot of warm-up home exercise videos are the high knees. And that really does help get your blood going, helps get your joints loosened up because you are stretching everything. So now, for me, when I watch them do it, I still can't do it properly the full way, but I can do it. So as far as ways for progressing, you start, again, body straight, shoulders back, abs tight, legs straight down. You don't want them out, you want them straight down, and you just start lifting your legs. Great way to start. You're just walking in place, basically. Like from the side, you can see I'm just going. And then from there, you want to start going as high as you can. So like if you can get up way high, get up way high. If you can't at first, that's okay. Like just use your arms and stretch. That way you can get used to getting it higher. From there, once I actually were able to get pretty high with my knees, then I start giving them things to aim for. So I put my hands out, and you can start low, and just raise so that you're meeting your hands. And then you raise higher, so you're at like a 90 degree. And start working on that. From there, you get your arms more involved instead of just a target and raise them with your legs. And especially when you do it this way, you're really involving your arms. You can put little tiny weights in your hand. You can hold some soup cans, whatever, and just really, that was wrong, really keep going. And then from there is where you would kick it up and actually do that at a run pace. I can't do that quite yet. I can do it for like a second, but I get out of breath and like then I'm dying and not ready to do the rest. So I want to be able to keep proper form doing this. If I can do it right, there we go. Doing this, and again, keeping shoulders back, body straight, stomach tight, and going. And a variation of what you can do with hand weights or even without is doing with an overhead push. So what you would do is keep your arms up and then kick up with one leg. So from the side, arms up, and again, I'm gonna keep saying it, but body straight, like that, and imagine you have somebody's head and you're kneeing them. Don't do that, I'm joking. But yeah, so that's another variation that will get other muscle groups involved. All right, so the next one, tricep dips. Typically, the most common way I do see them are where you are on the edge of a chair or something higher like this, and you're dipping down. That can be very hard at first, especially you're talking your triceps. You're talking these guys back here one, these will help with that, but two, it's a small muscle. For me, it's one that I don't use very often, so it's taking me time to build that one up. So from there, the best way I find for starting is to start on the floor. So I'm on the floor right now. And you're gonna get some cute angles of me, guys. All right, so you start like this with your knees bent, your hands just below the back of your back or your shoulders, and you're wanting to tighten that abs, keep your core straight, and from there you want to bend down. I need to scoot the tables there. Okay. So from there, bend down. And this is pretty easy, but over time you really feel it. And you're using your arms to bend. You're holding everything else straight, and you're using your arms. You're not crunching, you're not doing a sit-up, you're not using these muscles, you're just holding them tight, but not using them, engaging them to actually do this move. You're just using your arms. Okay, that makes sense? All right, okay. Now the next one is the progression for the floor version. It's hard for me, but I'll show you as best I can while trying to keep proper form. So you do the same position, but then what you're going to do is lift your butt off the ground and then go down. See, I can only go down a little bit, but go like that. Oh, yeah, I can feel that. So with that one, over time, will make it easier. Work your way up to that for sure, because I'm not fully ready for that one. And yeah. All right, so we're up on the table or a chair, whichever you have, and we're gonna basically do the move we were doing, but we're at a higher elevation. And again, you have to focus on your core, keeping your abs tight, your shoulders down and back. And the easiest way to start is keeping your feet close to where your butt will be. Not far out, really close. This is gonna be the easiest way to start. So then you just scoot forward, hands forward like this, and drip down. Drop down, don't drip down. Although, I mean, depending on where this is, you could be dripping at this point. But again, I am focusing on keeping all of my other muscles tight while I'm doing this and keeping good form. I'm not dropping down and doing this. My shoulders are staying where they're supposed to be. And that way I'm bending like that. There we go. I think when I first started, I did it a little bit wrong, because you don't want to scrunch. And you just go back. Progressing from that is very simple. You're simply bringing your legs further out for the move. I'm not quite ready for these, so we'll see how these go, but you bring your legs a little bit further out, and again, keeping everything tight and bending with your arms. Keeping your shoulders down, not turtling. And that's why it's so important to work in progression, because that's very hard for me to keep my shoulders back and down, keeping my legs at that point. So if I were to start there, can't properly do it, I could really hurt myself or do it wrong. From there, and I don't think I can even really show you, but the final progression of it is with legs straight. So you get like you normally would, and then your legs are straight. And then, no. I'm not ready for that. 314 pounds, guys. It's hard to do, but I will get there for sure. But that would be the final stretch of that. And then you can also do that last one with your legs crossed. And that changes a little bit more, because now you're actually engaging your core a little bit more, because you're balancing on one heel rather than like that. All right, so the next move for upper body is push-ups. Now you're wondering, I'm standing. That's not what you normally see somebody do when they're gonna do a push-up. Again, I'm showing modifications and ways to work your way up to the full thing. I can't do a full push-up right now. So where I started, luckily I am past this, but where I started is
with a wall. That is a great starting point because you don't realize what muscles you're going to be using and you can really work on proper form. So what you do is you start with about 2 to 3 feet away from the wall because you do want a little bit of an incline. And you're going to lean forward and keep your hands just wider than shoulder width. You can change your hand position and they will work different muscles. So you can take this and go into the diamond position. You can go wider with it. But for basics, I'm going here. And this is where we're going to focus on form again. So I'm not crunched, I'm straight and shoulders back and keeping all of this straight. I'm holding my abs tight. I'm keeping my core completely straight. And from there, you're going to go in like a push-up. And one thing I want to point out, my arms are going like a 45-degree angle. So you're not wanting to go way out. You're not wanting to keep them tight and go like this. You're wanting to keep them like about a 45. When I say 45, basically that direction. So when you're going like that, and you just work on that. And also keep in mind, guys, look, I am moving my whole upper body as one movement. I am not leaning this like that. I'm not letting this stuff bulge. Oh, that hurt my back. Don't do that for sure. Keep your body straight and your core tight. And just go like that. All right, makes sense? Okay, so next progression. I have towels here for something later, but I don't have enough counters to clear off every counter in this house, especially with my roommate being back home, stuff's everywhere. So from here, from the wall, you get a high table or a kitchen counter. I could have gone in the kitchen, I guess that would have been smart. We're doing it here. But so you get a high table and you just do the same thing you were doing on the wall. So if you're gonna go further out, like this is me there. So I'm taking like a good step out. Okay, now it's against the wall. And put your hands at the edge and keep them facing forward. Again, just a little wider than shoulder width. Make sure your posture is all straight and going down. And keeping in mind that your arms are going at a 45-degree angle, not all the way to the side, not all the way tucked in, like this. Keeping your shoulders down, abs tight, all of that. Everything, and that is one reason why I like going slower. One, it does help build muscles because you're keeping them taut the whole time. You have a checklist going on in your mind when you're doing this. What are my shoulders doing? What's my back doing? What's my stomach doing? What's my butt doing? What angle are my arms going? All of that is going through your mind while you do this. And so you've got to work your way up. Okay, so next progression. Can you see everything? Okay. So I'm trying to get good camera angles here. It's easier if I had a camera person. But I am down, obviously, on the ground, on my coffee table. I am on my knees, my feet are back here, and I'm gonna do the push-ups here. So same exact thing. You're focusing on everything, and that arm went way too wide. Keeping everything straight, shoulders down, same as before. Like that. So that are all the modifications I'm going to show on this one. You can do the same thing as what you did here, but on your knees, on the floor, and from there, you go to your feet. I'm not ready for either of those two, so I'm not going to show them. All right, so this one's hard to get a full body angle without going far away and you can't see any details. But for the next one, it is squats. And you want to stand with your feet just shoulder width apart, hip width apart, or just slightly out. There are things called sumo squats, but I'm just focusing on a regular one right now. All of these exercises, there are other variations. I'm just showing what I personally do. So you stand like this. It looks awkward because of my giant thighs, but I promise my legs are straight down, just a little bit like that. And so for squats, for the beginning, what you're gonna work on is, I'll show you what it ultimately will be. So from the side, I had all that, shoulders back, shoulders down, hold your stomach in tight, and I need to back up a little bit because the wall's right there, And you are going to kick your butt back. And for balance, I like to put my hands forward. So like this, and you're going down. That's the regular way to do a squat, but it can be hard to get there sometimes. And so we have other ways. All right, so remember those towels that I mentioned when I was trying to do push-ups? I have them and I'm stacking them on a chair. And you can stack them as high as you want. You can use a taller chair. For me, that's the best chair I've got for this purpose. So what you're gonna do, one, again, focus on your posture, and it can help if your toes are slightly pointed out, not dramatically. So not like this, they're just slightly out, okay? So like that, and you're gonna squat down. And even if at first you can just do this, that's fine. And what you're gonna do is work your way to being able to touch your butt to this. And once you start getting comfortable with that, and you can keep your balance easier and focus on your form easier, because you know if you lose balance, you're falling on a chair. You're not gonna fall on the floor and bang your head and die. So you just work on that and just slowly work on touching your butt, just kissing the towels there. The whole time you're making sure your knees are not going in front of your toes. Then once you get comfortable with that, you take some towels away, you go lower. Get comfortable with that, take all the towels away, see if I can do this one, and go all the way down. Then once you get comfortable with that, you take the chair away and you go down. Whoa. Trying to look at the camera, I'm gonna fall and kill myself. Just so I can be YouTube famous. All right, so the last thing I'm gonna show with squats to make them easier is if you have a stability ball. I have a really big one, you can get smaller ones. But you take it and you put it so that it is against the wall, right at your lower back. And from here, you're going to squat. And oh, one thing, you want your feet to go out a little bit more and you're actually leaning onto the ball. It doesn't work as well if you are standing up straight. So leaning onto the ball, show all your rules to everybody, and then work on going down that way. And when you go down, you're trying to push your butt underneath the ball. So you're going up and you're pushing your butt back. You don't want to go straight down. One, you'll lose the ball. Two, you'll lose your balance. Three, you can hurt your back. So going that way, tucking your back under, you feel a lot more secure that you're not gonna fall. So, very helpful. And you can get these on like Amazon for pretty cheap. So the last thing I am showing are lunges. Now, one thing I do want to point out is this can go, you have to pay even more attention to your body position. I do not have the best knees in the world, so I have to do them a certain way to make them not hurt my knees as much, or at all. You know, if it's hurting something, if it's giving you a sharp pain, stop. Figure out what you're doing wrong, do something different. So I found different ways that I have to do these and the ways that my trainer recommended, and all of a sudden, wow, they're so much better. So, one thing is, I keep a chair nearby for balance. And then two, instead of doing the forward ones, because as you're going forward, especially if you're doing moving lunges, that momentum can really put the pressure in your knee. So you don't do that. Instead, you go back, and we're gonna start with stable, stationary lunges. There we go. So, standing up straight, shoulders down and back. Hold your abs tight, core straight, and I'm gonna take it one more step forward, and you're gonna go back. So you wanna go back as far as you can. If you can just do a little bit, that's okay, but then your dip's not gonna be as much. But that's okay, you can start there, and keeping your hand out on the chair for balance, and going. And then you wanna get back further as you can, and move the chair where it's comfortable so that you can keep your position. And where I'm talking about positioning, my legs are, I don't know if you can tell, they are hip width apart. You're not doing this number like you're walking on a tightrope. you're keeping them like that. So you're just going straight back like that. So stand, and then go back, keep your balance, and then you're just gonna work on going down. Eventually, you're gonna go all the way down, and paying attention to your posture. I'm gonna rest for a second so that you can see my knee is basically at a 90-degree angle. You don't want your knee going forward. That can really hurt it. So you wanna keep it back here. You wanna keep this all straight, shoulder down, and go like that. And just keep your hand on that chair for balance. You're gonna start feeling it right here and right here. And then you would just do it with the same, well, I don't know if that's gonna block your view, but with the other leg straight back. You need to go a little bit further back and down. And just go down as far as you need to. If you're just doing this, you're doing it. Because when I first started, I tried going all the way down, and I swear I heard something rip right here. So don't do that. Go slow. Work your way up to it. Eventually, you can get rid of the chair and go back, and you can use your hips or your thigh for balance. And then eventually, speaking of balance, put that where it's supposed to be, eventually you can keep your arms down and go that way. And then there's the moving lunges, which is the same thing, but you're stepping into it. So you're starting here, go back and down, back and down. That one, work your way up to, because trying to keep your balance, trying to focus on everything can be very, very hard. Okay, so what did you guys think? Was that helpful for you guys? These modifications have helped me to be able to do stuff, because I've always hated exercise, and I'm not gonna lie, sweat in my hair makes it act like a jerk. I'm not gonna lie, I still don't love exercising, but finding ways to make them more accessible to somebody with my body type helped me enjoy them more. Plus, then I get some joy out of when I can progress to the next step. And there are millions more different ways to modify and do these type of things, plus obviously a lot more exercises, but those target the main muscles of your body, which I find super helpful. That's why in 2 months, I shrunk 7 inches, even if the scale didn't move, because I've been doing stuff like this, which is tightening and strengthening everything. I'm out of breath, y'all. Okay, so let me know what you guys think. And I don't know if I said it at the beginning of the video, so I'm saying it maybe again right now. Not an expert, just somebody that's been doing a lot of research on my fitness journey, trying to help other people. Always consult a doctor first, and a professional trainer maybe. Having somebody to check your form is key. So I record myself a lot so that I can see what I'm doing, be like, oh, if you've seen some of my other exercise videos, straight up while I'm doing a voiceover, I'm like, and don't do what I'm doing right there. And that's part of the process. That's part of learning. It's, progress, not perfection. And eventually we will get there. So thank you guys again for watching this. Comment, like, share, and I will talk to you all later.